Hello everyone, good afternoon, and welcome to Grand Finals Sunday of Corsace Closed 2022. After 6 weeks of grueling, intense matchups, we have reached the Grand Finals. The only question left to answer is who will emerge the champion? Is it going to be number 1 seed xootynator? Or will it be number 2 seed Utami coming out of the loser's bracket here in the grand final to challenge her for the badge and for the title of champion of the year? Well, in just a few minutes, we're going to find out. I'm this one guy, and joining me today is Chillier Pair once again. I think we're in for another exciting match, and hopefully this can live up to last year's grand final, which is one of the best matches that I think many people have ever seen. What do you think?
You know, I come into most matches, I think, that I cast in this tournament, and I say that calling these, high-level close matchups is always an understatement, and it's kind of become this thing, and it speaks to the caliber of player that we have seen throughout this tournament thus far. Obviously, xootynator, our number 1 seeded player out of qualifiers, she has absolutely dominated the early stages, the middle stages, all the way through to this grand finals match. She has not lost yet. Very, very much consistent with that seeding she has right there, and her statistics are really starting to match up with where her skill sets and strengths have been as well. Utami, number 2 seeded player out of qualifiers, has done an absolutely fantastic job of fighting through the tournament thus far. Took a loss, I believe, 2 weeks ago now, fell to the loser's bracket, has had to fight his way back up to this spot in grand finals and has done a flawless job of it, has had little to no opposition in every single opponent that he has gone up against, and has certainly proven that he is worthy of making his 2nd grand finals appearance in 2 years, of course, taking a loss to Flying Tuna last year in an unfortunate 6-7 loss in that bracket reset. Was pretty rough for him, and the response to that this year is, I'm going to come back better than ever. And xootynator maybe going to have a little bit of trouble, the first bit of trouble she's had thus far with Utami here.
Yeah, you can't say enough about xootynator's performance up until this stage. She hasn't so much as faced a tiebreaker. I mean, her wins are 6-3, 6-2, and 7-5. It's pretty telling of just how far she has progressed over the last couple of years as a tournament player, even in matches that it felt like, she was going to be really challenged in due to, skill set discrepancies or anything like that. You can see things like her speed set on the screen not being the greatest, and she has ended up playing against a couple of speed players. She still emerged victorious, and without even having to resort to going all the way to a tiebreaker, which are, kind of the type of maps that usually fit her skill set a little better. Utami, as you mentioned, dropped down to loser's bracket in a tiebreaker loss against Matthew back in the semifinals. But I think Utami's peak in last week's finals round in those 2 matches, especially the one against Malashevsky, really is the highest peak that I think anyone has reached overall at any point in this tournament in terms of just raw skill display. He showed up on every map and put up some of the best scores of the week consistently in 2 matches in a row in the loser's bracket. You really can't, I think, explain enough how important it is to be able to get through the double match weekends with that kind of performance, because it's so tough to come out and have to play, on a Saturday and then come back the next day and play another match because you're still in losers. You give away a little bit of information to your opponent, typically, which can, kind of inform the picks and bans. But Utami was able to come up with the goods in both of those matches and is trying to do the same thing again this week. But it makes you wonder, did xootynator find info, you think, in the match yesterday, as one-sided as it may have been, that she can use in today's match to, try to maybe avenge her loss from last year's NAT Grand Final at the hands of this same Utami in the same fashion, which was him coming from losers, her from winners, and he ended up winning in a bracket reset. You know, can she avoid that this year? I don't know. What do you think she saw anything yesterday that she can use for this match?
You know, Utami has been in a very unique position in this tournament thus far. He has had very, very little weakness shown in every single skill set across the board. I think Utami is kind of one of those more special tournament players, especially in 1v1s, where, you know, you've got a lot of players, they can come out, they have their really strong skill sets. Like, I can even use xootynator for an example. She has an extreme advantage, I think, across aim picks in this tournament thus far, and I think that's against any player she has gone up against. It has just shown through so much that she is almost untouchable in that category, in that skill set. Utami, on the other hand, while he has had his certain untouchable skill sets, he has his stamina, the tapping overall, his speed has been really good in this tournament as well. He's so consistent on all of the other stuff as well that he doesn't really have a weakness. So you're going into this match against a player who not only will be able to put up scores consistently on those strong skill sets, but will be able to take points on contested ones as well. And you even have seen through previous weeks, I think the highest performing match that we've seen out of Utami was a couple weeks ago now. Is match versus Malashevsky in the losers bracket. These two are putting up FC after FC or one miss and these super high scoring maps. And now you can see how hard this pool is. You know, Utami kind of falling down to maybe some 500Ks or below still looks really confident compared to most opponents on this pool, and I'm interested to see if xootynator is going to be able to respond to that, especially with some very noticeable deficits in the tapping category of maps, which in these later stages does tend to matter a little bit more. The maps get a little faster, they get a little bit more high intensity, there's no breaks or pauses or anything, so really looking for some big kick-ups.
Yeah, I think one of the big things, you know, we talk about in these late stages is a player's scaling. Yeah, that is to say, you know, how well do they progress round over round as the pools get more and more difficult. And Utami is one of those rare players who doesn't fall off in really any skill set, which is very, very rare. There's super few players who can play aim, tech, speed, reading, precision at a high level, even in an 8-star pool. And one thing that in that regard I think is kind of interesting about today's match, especially when compared to yesterday, obviously Utami present in both of those, xootynator a spectator for yesterday's and a competitor in today's, is the matches kind of flip the script in terms of the player's strength. So yesterday, you had Utami, this amazing late stage all-around player, kind of playing the role of the gimmick, reading, hidden, etc. type of player against Matthew, who is really well known, obviously, for things like speed, finger control, and stamina. Today, that gets turned on its head because you have Utami coming in as really now a player who far eclipses xootynator in terms of speed and stamina and finger control in a late stage, whereas xootynator now becomes the player who is a specialist in things like hidden and reading. And so it creates a sort of interesting scenario to me where the picks and bans from yesterday could be completely different from what we end up seeing today. You are more likely going to see xootynator being the one banning out speed, and more likely to see Utami being the one banning out things like aim or things like a hidden reading pick. And I think that's a super interesting turnaround for Utami to have to make, and I wonder how much more difficult that might make this match for him.
Yeah, I think, you know, forcing Utami into a position that is less advantageous for him right off the bat is something that doesn't really happen too often to him. I think he goes into a lot of these matches with this extreme level of confidence. You know, I can go and consistently put up these high scores. I'm good at it. I know that, you know, there's very little that throws him off if he's on his game. If Utami is having a good day, there's very little you can do to stop that train from just rolling through. So what xootynator needs to be able to do is she needs to go right out of the gates. She needs to continue doing what what she's been doing in this tournament so far, which is picking into her strengths and continuing to perform from the start of the match. And that's generally where she has a pretty big advantage, is being able to just go straight into her picks. She doesn't need a warm-up. She doesn't need to get into the flow of the match. She's just ready to go. The second the match starts, she knows what she has to do. And, you know, with a lot of other players, that's not something that they can generally take advantage of. Some players do take a little bit longer maybe to, you know, find that rhythm in the match, make sure they're getting their picks out correctly. Utami can be one of those players sometimes. You know, he might not start off the match as strong as he finishes sometimes. And, you know, for his sake, I hope that he's able to maybe not let the match slip away at the beginning. If xootynator is able to kind of come out swinging and he takes a couple of, you know, maps to get into things, I think he's got plenty of strong picks to start off with, which is kind of the unique scenario of this match right now, is that regardless of whether or not he's feeling good at the beginning of the match, he knows he can probably just throw out a Nomod 5, a DT2, a DT3, and immediately have something to play with in this pool. And likewise with xootynator, I think she can throw out one of these hidden picks. She can throw out these hard rock precision picks and be able to just take a point right from the start of the match. So, you know, both of these players being as strong as they are and being as consistent as they are, it will, I think, matter very heavily how they start this match off. And I'll go back to what I mentioned at the beginning. Utami is the type of player, if he's having a good day, you really can't stop it. But if he's not having a good day at the start, that's where xootynator capitalizes on these picks at the beginning here. And I think that thus far, she's done a pretty good job of it, and maintaining it right now is going to be more important than ever.
Yeah, so with that start in mind, it's kind of an interesting thing to look at yesterday, right? Utami banned out double time 2, double time 3, the speed picks, because that's Matthew's skill set. And he first picked Hidden 1. Now, who else do we know that bans DT2 and DT3 and first picks Hidden 1? I talked about the flipping of the script in this match today, and that's just the perfect encapsulation, because xootynator bans DT2, bans DT3 last week in the finals against Matthew. First picks Hidden 1, wins it. And Utami yesterday bans DT2, bans DT3 against Matthew. First picks Hidden 1 and wins it. So it's such a funny thing to see how these two players are both similar and very different at the same time. And it really does make it seem like whoever gets out of the starting gate just that little bit faster might have a big advantage in this match going in even as early as the first couple picks. Because I think, like you said, you know, they both have a lot of good picks that are going to feel good for them. There are also going to be picks that are super, super contested. So I wonder for his part, because I think it's safe to assume that Zooty probably bans a couple of speed maps, whether it's Nomod 2, Nomod 5, DT2, DT3, 2 of those 4 maps, where Utami might be going without knowing how xootynator necessarily feels on this pool. Like, what do you ban out if you're in his shoes here?
Yeah, there's really, you know, and again, I talk about the overall consistency of Utami and the fact that, you know, it's very rare that he is put in the situation where he doesn't have a lot of open picks available to him. So this match is definitely going to be kind of crunch time for Utami to figure out what direction he wants to take. And I know it's kind of funny whenever I think about it, because if you were around in the tournament scene when Utami, you know, maybe like 2-ish years ago now, was really starting to become that super extremely good, consistent, high-level tournament player that, you know, has kind of made a name for himself today, he almost started off as kind of that hidden, that reading, that aim player, you know, kind of where xootynator's strengths really lie. I think for the longest time we saw that one of Utami's biggest skill sets was his ability to play those high-level reading maps. And if you knew Utami before he was a tournament player, he was a hidden aim player in solo before he touched tournaments. Like, that's what he did.
Back in the days of Toy is our boy.
Yeah, basically, yeah, really. Like, back in 2016, 2017, you'd see him running around. He'd play all the hidden aim maps. That's what it was. That's what he played all the time. And he was so good at it when he started tournaments. And all of a sudden, now we regard Utami as this massive tapping-oriented, speedy tournament player, and we kind of forget that he has that consistent aim to put up on the board right now. And so for Utami's sake, I think that while it might not be at the front of his mind, he is going to have to kind of check himself a little bit and realize, you know what? No, I can still play this stuff. I am good at the consistency, the aim, and all of this, and xootynator's going to do whatever she can to make sure she stays as a front runner in that category, because that's going to be, I think, her advantage in this match, especially having to go through bracket reset for Utami.
Yeah, it's a nice little thing to kind of have in your back pocket, that ability to go to that bracket reset and know, you know, if you lose that first set, you're still alive if you're coming from the winner's bracket. It's a little less pressure, and it's a little more pressure on the opponent coming from the loser's bracket. And with that being said, we are moving into the grand finals match itself. We're going to get into the bans, we're going to get into the picks, and we are going to find out what direction these players want to go. The first ban going to go to Utami, first pick going to go to xootynator. I'm very curious. You know, Utami lost one hidden yesterday. He lost hidden 3. He didn't look super great on Hard Rock 2, decides to ban out that precision aim map against Zooty. He's got a lot more choices for bans than she does, because I think she basically has to pick 2 of those same 4 maps to ban, and there's not really going to be much deviation from that.
Yeah, 100%. I think, you know, if she doesn't ban at least 2, at least both of them, I think she has, you know, 2 picks that are almost guaranteed to be in Utami's favor. And right now, I think, you know, it's kind of staying consistent with what we mentioned before. Zooty's been really good at those, you know, the aim maps and the precision stuff. So Utami banning out Hard Rock, especially with Hard Rock not being necessarily his strongest skill set, is a very smart direction to go. And from xootynator, there's really not much surprise for the first ban coming out here as well, sitting on that DT2.
Yep, so it's going to be hidden 1. That's so funny. Like, what did I say? It was Utami's first pick yesterday, and it's a ban from him today. That's how respectful he is of xootynator's ability to play that hidden consistency aim at this really, really high level. He bans out his own first pick in the preceding match, knowing that it's not favored to him in this one the way it was yesterday. That is something you don't see all that often, but it makes sense in the context of this match. For Zooty, I mean, this is DT3, Nomod 2, Nomod 5. Obviously, it's just kind of pick one of those and know you're going to most likely take the L on the other 2. There's just not really a way around it, and it goes Nomod 2. It's a 215 BPM, incredibly stamina-intensive Nomod 2, so I suppose she'd rather take her chances on the Nomod 5 and DT3 in this instead of that. I don't know. It was a toss-up either way.
Yeah, I think, you know, between the 2 of them, you know, xootynator, and all credit given to her, she has actually looked pretty solid on the speed lately compared to what she did in the earlier, you know, matches in this tournament. And I think her skill set deficit lies more in the higher stamina maps rather than the higher speed picks. So I think leaving up a faster map, especially after Utami has basically FC'd the Nomod 2s for every round of this tournament, I would rather not gamble with him being able to find, you know, an unfortunate miss, even giving Barking Mad Dog's, you know, kind of propensity to go for more aim-oriented Nomod 2s. She's going to go in immediately for Nomod 1. I don't think anyone is going to question this whatsoever. It's big aim, consistently high-intensity jumps here. If you've ever seen any Alden map ever, this will make your aim hand burn because of how difficult these maps are.
Yeah, it's screen jumps. I mean, there's not many other ways to reach 8.35 star Nomod 1s these days other than to just put some really, really big spacing jumps into a pretty fast map. It's 220 BPM, obviously not a slow Nomod 1 at this stage. You're gonna have something that's pretty high BPM. A little bit less comfortable, I think, than the average Nomod 1. You mentioned Alden maps, that's kind of how they go. There's a little bit of discomfort that comes along with playing these picks. This got picked yesterday. Utami selected against Matthew. He put up 387k with a 5 miss, which when you see this map will be really impressive. But I think Zooty definitely thinking that she can put up a 400, 450k on this, if not higher, because she's just incredibly talented at aim. So we will see as we get into map number 1 of our grand finals. Possibly set 1 of 2, possibly the only set. Remains to be seen what will happen between these two. They're both looking good to start off the match. nice and warmed up for these big early jumps.
Yeah, Utami gonna be holding that double S right through the gates here. xootynator maybe having a little bit of trouble with the high BPM straight from the start of the map. She has not missed yet. Doesn't really matter with that slight accuracy deficit. These players will not be putting FCs up on these maps. This pool is so much more difficult than previous weeks. We will not see anything near an FC. However, we could see some very impressive scores here as Utami already finds a miss at the beginning of the map there. His max combo in the match yesterday was 418 for that 388k-ish, so he really wasn't quite able to put up a big combo on this map. xootynator's going to find a break on that wide-angle triple, the pretty short one there, so she is going to have a very slight score lead for a short amount of time right now. She's clearly not too happy about that miss right there, trying to reset her aim a little bit on that stack part right there. Utami's going to have to find another break here with that higher accuracy in order for xootynator to have a big advantage in this. He's definitely looking a lot better than he did yesterday.
Yeah, the kind of concerning factor possibly a little bit for Zooty is the high BPM and the tapping requirement of this map being a little higher. You see her breaking again on a triple. Like, she hasn't broken on the aim. Well, now she has, but those are full screen back and forth, so that can be kind of overlooked. But both breaking near the end of the key eye, with Zooty breaking on a couple of triples and Utami breaking on a couple of aim patterns, which I think is going to be kind of how this match is more likely to go, just based on their strengths. But for now, it's going to give Utami a small lead. He's got a 1.4% accuracy lead, which is really helping him out when you combine it with the combo lead that he had earlier, even if he's a little behind in combo now.
Yeah, that accuracy lead, I think, is maybe half of the score difference on this right now. Pretty equal in terms of the miss count. The xootynator's misses were a little bit more condensed, and that's a big one for Utami right there. She's going to be able to claw back some score here on this slightly easier section tapping-wise. Couple short bursts here. Utami's going to miss that accelerating burst, actually, and that's going to be even more score in the favor of xootynator right now. We're going to approach the last quarter of the map right now. If she's able to hit a decent amount of the section, she might be able to pull away with this. Both players missed the same triple.
Well, this gets scary going into the last KI because it's really going to come down to who can hit this section, but Zooty did manage to kind of claw her way to about a 17k score lead, which is enough because she's matching combo and she's not as far behind on accuracy as she was earlier. Now, she would have to break pretty promptly here for Utami to be able to bring this back in these last moments, and both of them looking pretty solid. We're going to see scores, I think, similar to what we saw yesterday. Utami maybe going to be falling just a little behind his goal. I think Zooty will reach her goal for this score, and it's going to be enough to win her the first point.
Oh, he missed it on the last jump. He would have matched his score from yesterday.
Yeah, would have been almost identical, and she got that 400k, and that was, I think, the target, and that is going to give her a 1-0 early lead. 6 misses for Zooty, 8 misses for Utami, so a little worse miss count for him than yesterday. Very similar score otherwise. Just that combo in kind of that second third for Zooty was really, really important. It built her up a little bit of a lead, and then she was able to just, combo and match in the ending to take the victory.
Well, this is good news for xootynator, I think, because, you're looking at right now Utami, who in some cases in these later, these second matches here, he does make some improvements from the first match to the second match. And we've seen some big improvements before across matches for him. So the fact that xootynator is going in and picking these maps that were played yesterday, and Utami's not making significant changes in the scores from yesterday, it gives her a little bit more confidence as to, kind of the know-how of what scores he's going to be able to put up in the match today. We're going to be seeing Grid Night next up, as not a match that we saw that's not a map that we saw yesterday. Of course, the Dada Hidden 2. This is definitely something that's maybe a little bit more contested, but if Utami is confident on it and didn't have the chance to play it yesterday, giving that kind of unknown variable here, maybe it's what he's looking for, just to catch Zooty off guard.
Yeah, this was banned against him, of course, by Matthew. No surprise there. I'm a little surprised to see Utami going this as a first pick instead of, that Nomod 5 or maybe DT3. So clearly feels very confident. This is, very, as you can already see, it's a very grid snap style. Grid Knight, the name very fitting for that, of low AR. And this is the type of low AR hidden that in the past I've seen Utami just absolutely destroy. His ability to read and aim this type of map is impeccable, as you can see with him holding an SS while Zooty has already missed and dropped down to 97% accuracy.
Yeah, there he does find a little misaim, I guess. Yeah, I was going to say, we were talking about that at the beginning of the match, though. Utami kind of regarded as this big, strong tapping player now. He was a really, really good reading player, and he's proving it right now. He has not lost it. Although maybe not the first thing people think of, it certainly should be one of the forefronts here. A very short map as well, not a whole lot of room for error right now. Utami's just going to very, very quickly continue to run away with the score right now. So much more confident on these big reading patterns here.
Yeah, it's like, it takes me back to watching him in North America Duo Tournament, where I really feel like this was back in, fall of 2020, really first saw him emerge to me as this insane tourney player. It was around that era, and playing some of the rhythm and reading maps in that tournament and just carrying like it was nobody's business to do at that stage of a tournament, things like Vostok, etc. And kind of showing that off again here. He still has 99% accuracy. He's up by 140k. And, Zooty is doing her best, but her best is not anywhere near, unfortunately, good enough in this particular setting. Chain misses that pattern while Zooty hits it.
Unlucky.
Those X's are so hard, dude.
Yeah, they really are, and the fact that Utami was finding singular misses on some of those, more stacked patterns was absolutely ridiculous. All these wide angles, too, here. xootynator doing a good job at the ending here with the recovered combo, but certainly not enough to match up against that performance across the entire map from Utami. What a response to that first pick from xootynator on Utami's part right now. That was an insanely smart thing to open up this match with. You're very clearly confident on this, and if he can eliminate the hidden pool as early as possible in this match, it's going to open up a lot of avenues for him to maybe get some more contested picks in here. If you get xootynator, out of that hidden zone early on in a match, she's going to start to run out of stuff a little bit earlier. Obviously, picks like the tech maps and the alt maps may be a little bit more contested between these two rather than, some flow aim or big jump-oriented hidden picks in here. Especially something like Galaxy Burst, which is the only hidden map left right now. And that is a pretty left-hand intensive stamina cut burst high-intensity map that Utami, all things given, didn't perform super well on, but that map is a chain miss style map, so I don't know. She's going to be going for I'm Your Daddy, the burst-styled Hard Rock 1 here from Snow Note. Another high-intensity aim pick in here. A little bit more tapping involved.
Yeah, this kind of mixes up, it's aim, but you can hear from the song, it kind of has that breakcore vibe to it. So
Breakcore!
Yeah, right. A little more. There's always going to be tapping in breakcore song maps. It's on 225 BPM, so it's pretty similar BPM to the Nomod one. But like you said, it's going to encompass a little wider range of skill set. And this is, I guess, I can think of very few picks that aren't going to feel really contested on Zooty's side. But this feels pretty contested. But like you said, Utami not really known as a hard rock player, not his number one choice of mod pool. So a logical direction to go, especially if you are Zooty, seeing him banning out the hard rock 2, saying, okay, well, let's go into the hard rock pool. Let's pick a hard rock aim map, and we'll see how it goes here as we get into map number 3 with the early 1-1 tie coming into this pick.
High-intensity, fast breakcore aim is something that normally I wouldn't put as favored for xootynator, but given her ability to play some of the quicker maps as of lately, she might actually have a decent shot at winning this right now. Utami's obviously going to have a pretty decent accuracy lead just because of his tapping ability alone, but if xootynator is able to kind of recover on some of the aim sections of this map right here, she might have a big advantage because with the speed of this and the fact that Utami is not generally someone who chooses hard rock over other mods definitely gives her a little bit more of a command over playing hard rock more. Although she does normally play hidden hard rock, I think the ability to play with these smaller circles is there. We're seeing her start to build up a little bit of a combo right now, but man, that accuracy lead combo that Utami had earlier are doing him a big favor in that score gap right now. It's going to disappear pretty quickly, though. xootynator going to approach that 400 combo. She does find another break. She keeps almost transitioning off of these jumps too early after the triples right now. It's like she's trying to compensate for how fast the map is, and it's actually kind of biting her.
Yeah, it's like you want to just over-aim ever so slightly on some of the stuff when it's a little higher BPM than you're comfortable with. And like I said, kind of can bite you. Almost dead even combo, but man, Utami with a 3% accuracy lead. We're not quite halfway in yet. chain miss, but Zooty breaking several times there as well, so it's really not going to hurt either direction. This first half of the map is so tapping oriented that if Zooty can escape from it being, you know, relatively close, you know, maybe once there's a little more aim coming in, she'll have an okay time. But for right now, still Utami with the combo lead and that massive act lead. Halfway through, I mean, it's only a 50k score lead, but when it's, you know, a combo lead of over 100 plus an accuracy lead of 3%, that doesn't feel super great. Oh, there's a break from Utami.
Ooh, that could be something good for xootynator. If she's able to hold into this lower section immediately after, there might be a lot of aim in store right now for xootynator to take advantage of. There are a couple of bursts, so it's not quite towards that ending yet, but she definitely has to hold it. There's a break on that slider. Utami continues to trade the breaks, though. She's, you know, she's not losing any ground here. Unfortunately, she's not quite putting up enough combo to take score back, especially with that accuracy deficit right now. It's actually doing a lot of damage despite the fact that she has consistently held slightly bigger combos towards these aim sections here. We've got a quarter of the way map left to go. It's a 40,000 score lead for Utami, and there's a lot of aim at this ending section right now. xootynator does not have enough combo lead right now to take this score back, but if Utami finds another break, though, that 2% accuracy lead is going to start to close a little bit as she finds some more comfortable parts. This ending is very high intensity with the triples and bursts, though, after this aim section at the ending here. There's going to be a big aim section, and then we're going to go right back into the triples. And if she's able to hold through this with a couple breaks from Utami, that could be in the clear.
This is going to absolutely come down to the wire here, though. She's holding on for dear life, but that accuracy lead is still helping Utami maintain that advantage just by a bit. It's coming down rapidly, but I don't know, is 25k in the cards here? I'm not sure. Even if she holds through this ending, she needs Utami to break, I think, again, in order to bring this back. It's going to come down to the last second in this aim pattern.
How are they not
through those
missing?
kick-slider jumps. Nobody's breaking at all. It's 15k, it's 10k, but I don't think it's going to be enough no matter what happens here. And it is not, and Utami by 15,000 points ends up taking it. And it's the accuracy lead all the way through that really carried him, the superior tapping of Utami, able to maintain the lead the entire way through thanks to the fact that he almost always had a 2 or 3% accuracy gap, despite the fact that Zooty had a 200 better max combo and 2 fewer misses. The act just allowed Utami to hold on, and he takes the early break point for that 2-1 lead.
Well, an unfortunate breakpoint from xootynator. Like you said, that 2% act lead for the entire map, really just the difference of that map there. xootynator was so confident on that aim at the ending. She had a very decent score lead, or combo lead, and brought back a significant amount of score towards the ending. I mean, it went from, 50, 60,000 to sub 20,000 by the ending there. It was really coming back, but the act means so much over those longer maps there as well. It really is just that consistency there. And there comes the Nomod 5 from Utami. High intensity, high stamina requirement Nomod 5. This is not just a speed Nomod 5. This is a lot of tapping, and it's something that Utami has beaten literally everyone on in this tournament, is the tapping map here and there.
Yeah, this is something that, whenever somebody picks this type of map against xootynator, you just kind of think, okay, go next. That being said, she's had some, surprisingly good results on these maps against some good speed players. No, she hasn't really been able to win them, but she has put herself in a position to at least, make people think twice. But, man, this one, Grand Finals 8 stars, almost 4 minutes long, 260 BPM half slashed. I feel that the margin of error for Utami is pretty big on this one, and xootynator has to play this about as optimally as she possibly has ever played a Nomod 5 if she wants to have a chance.
Yeah, half-slash Nomod 5s don't pull any punches. If you're looking for a Nomod 5 that doesn't hold back on the stamina and the strain, and makes you want to cry at the same time, even though you're a speed player, go ask Half Slash for a Nomod 5. He's really freaking good at that, and Utami is a big fan of it, because that is exactly where his strength lies, in this high-intensity stamina here. xootynator going to be able to kind of mash her way a little bit through these beginning bursts here. The density is going to help her out a little bit, given that there's not a whole lot of aim requirement on the streams themselves, but again, that act lead is really going to make a big difference. So unless we see a huge break from Utami after they gain a substantial amount of combo, there's not going to be too much right from the gate. But there is a combo break from Utami, okay!
And this is what Zooty has done to people on these Nomad 5. She's able to keep her combo up through usually like the first, maybe 1,000, 1,500 combo. Yeah, the acro will be a little bit lower, but she's able to aim so well that she can make the most of that ability to hold some combo. But once those longer bursts come in and once the stamina starts getting drained, that's when she's going to start to have problems. And that's where Utami is really going to be able to jump on the lead, because you can see the 5% accuracy once again in his favor. And now that combo is going to go his way as well. Only a quarter of the way in, if that gives you any idea of how challenging this map is going to be. We are barely even getting started.
Yeah, I think that's the big point of this map, and you can even see just how much that accuracy matters for Utami when you have a significant gap like this 5%. xootynator had such a big combo lead after Utami's break. The score didn't even go over to her side. That's how confident Utami is on this type of map here with that accuracy. He's above 99% right now. There's probably enough players that I could count on two hands in tournament play that could consistently put up 99% on a map like this.
It's not a long list. Several of them were in this tournament, at least at one point, and have since been eliminated. And Utami kind of proving himself to be the class of that group. He, made it all the way here to this grand final so he can show off on this type of pick. Up by 5% AC, up by 900 combo. You could pretty much call it right now, I think, because there's just not a lot of coming back from this sort of deficit. As expected, Zooty able to make her way through the shorter burst sections, the triples and quints, not the worst. But when those longer streams come in, she's been having trouble, and this is just Utami kind of playing with his food a little bit here. This is his skill set, this is his playground, and you can see why, kind of the opinion of Utami has shifted from being, that hidden reading player into being a speed player on plays like this.
Wow. This combo from Utami right now is absolutely ridiculous. I don't even know. Utami's maybe just enjoying this. Obviously, unfortunately kind of having to ban this against, Mathy in every scenario because that's just what he's good at. Utami surely must have missed his comfortable zone on the Nomod 5 yesterday and is taking full advantage of it right now. No trouble on the finger control section right here, or any of the speed for that matter. Does find a slider break on that section. That's it!
This is such a ridiculous score, man. 550k and he's still going on this stage of Nomod 5. I mean, it really makes you sit up and take notice of how good high-end speed players at this level of tournament play have become when you see Utami coming in and putting up a score that's going to be looking like maybe 600k. That late miss might prevent it. Nope, he gets it. 600k on Grand Finals Nomod 5, man, with 98.7 accuracy and 1,400, 15, almost 1,600 combo, 2 misses. I don't know. There's not enough superlatives in the world to describe how good that play is.
Where's Half Slash? He needs to make that map harder. We need an extra. Yeah, we honestly, xootynator. Here's the thing, xootynator, and unfortunately, we didn't get a whole lot of chance to talk about her in that map because I think as a foregone conclusion, when Utami is putting up a 1,500 combo, there's really nothing she's going to be able to do about that map, especially given the accuracy difference. 300k on this map, all things considered, is a really good score. Like, there's not a lot of players who are able to maintain that, because something you do have to take into account is that 610 combo. It's impressive in and of itself, but for every miss on score V2, you lose score. So she not only had to put up that combo, but she kind of had to maintain a little bit of stamina in order to not lose so much score towards the ending of the map. So she actually did a pretty decent job of holding it down on that pick. But, again, we talked about it during the entire map. When you're going up against a player who is arguably top 3 on this skill set in tournaments, there's really not much you're going to be able to do unless you are one of those other top 3 players. So she did a good job for what I think we want to see out of xootynator. A 300k on a stamina map that difficult is something that can definitely let us know that she's still ready swinging in this match right now, despite being down 2 points. And she's got her own pick ahead of her. She could bring this 2-3 right now. She only needs to take back 1 break point.
Yep, and she's going to go to the hidden pool for the first time on her own. It's going to be hidden 4, which I we didn't see at all yesterday. This map was not picked or banned. So this is going to be our first time seeing Mars, which, it's a pick. It's another one of these just very long, very challenging hidden maps that I feel all sort of inadequate to try to describe.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I feel like I have to agree with you because, you know, even like having gone through and play tested and tried to do replays on this pool, you hit a point of difficulty where it's just like these maps do have skill sets, but they're so freaking hard that's just how you have to classify the maps, by like difficulty. Like, this map is impossible to play. This is somewhat possible to play. And I think these high intensity, slightly denser hidden picks for xootynator with the spacing changes are something that she has generally shown that she's pretty good at. But again, for Utami's sake, it's also something he's shown and proven to be very good at. Zooty's going to find a very early break on some of the spacing changes here, but Utami is going to trade it out. So both players going to be right in the same playing field at the beginning here. High intensity finger control, high, intensity of spacing changes and velocity changes. A little bit of finger control here with these 1-6 bursts as well. Utami's going to get caught out by one, but xootynator will slider break alongside it.
Yeah, this is staying very, very close. And once again, it is coming down a little bit to that accuracy advantage that Utami's been holding super consistently through this match. He's again up by over 1%, and he's keeping a little bit better combo here as well. It's only a 10k lead. Those scores are very low due to the raw difficulty of this map. It's interesting in terms of skill set for this pick too, because Zooty has been, like you said, so good at kind of some of that awkward flow aim on the hidden stuff, but Utami is so good at finger control that, what he maybe lacks a little bit in that certain skill set, which I don't even know is fair to say because he's good at it too, but he more than makes up for whatever deficit he may have in aim with the finger control aspect of this. And you can see them both looking pretty strong through the start of this middle third of the map, both holding over 300 combo. This is getting to scary stages. Scary stages because nobody's missing on any of these ridiculous overlapping flow aim patterns.
This is where you're supposed to miss. This is where you're missing.
Hit all this. This is not what you do. Okay, the no lock and he falls. Utami's combo is gone and Zooty holds on.
That's going to be big score gains right here. That is a huge combo advantage with ACK advantage now after those misses. Oh, she's just going to run away with this.
Yeah, a little bit of free combo there and then a little bit of easier aim. She has to break pretty soon.
No, she will FC the rest of the map.
She's not planning on it, but if Utami wants a chance, it's what needs to happen. But Zooty she says, I'm not actually going to miss on this map. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Okay, wait a minute. All right, there's a couple breaks from her. The accuracy lead goes back over to Utami. The combo lead is almost 300, and there is still over a quarter of the map left to go. He just put himself in the spot where he can take this back.
He is, but he found a couple of unfortunate breaks earlier, and I wouldn't be surprised to see another one come out from Utami. We're hitting a very difficult section right here. xootynator's chain miss is actually going to give him some score rather than Utami having to pull it back himself right now. She found a little bit of an over-aim. There's a break from Utami on a slider again! We saw a break from Zooty on the slider earlier. This score is going to be really close into the ending right here. xootynator's got a combo lead right now. It's not significant whatsoever, but it is going to be very close into the ending, and this is a single-digit thousand number of score in between the two right here. 5,000, 4,000. It's going to slowly go down into the ending of the map here. xootynator's got to keep her accuracy up, though. She continues finding hundreds. It's just not going to be enough into the ending. As long as she holds this FC, though, it may just go back in time. She barely has enough time, but it's the last few patterns in the map. The accuracy might not allow for it. She finds hundreds on the last patterns. No!
That's a tragedy. An absolute modern tragedy. A heist for Utami. Taking the breakpoint. 3 misses! Excuse me?
Oh, man.
I don't even care that he had 200 lower combo. You don't 3 miss that map. What? That's illegal miscount. And man, that is heartbreaking for xootynator, who would have taken that score back at the very end without those breaks.
Oh, it was so favored to her.
Man, that miss, it's like, what, 20-30 combo from the end. She would have had enough. The score lead was negligible. But
it was the chain misses.
She lost a little bit of score, and Utami kept the combo up, and that's all it took. And that's 4 points in a row for him. That's a double break point lead. Hurtling headlong toward that possible bracket reset here, as Utami is just picking up momentum and going into Nomod 6 as his next map. He's saying, all right, you want to pick gimmick? Guess what? I'll pick it right back.
Well, this is a equally difficult gimmick map here. A little bit different in terms of styling, obviously. Not so much on that big cut stream aim control and velocity changes. Definitely more flow aim oriented, very continuous patterns in this map here, but difficult all the same here. We talked about it at the beginning of the match. If you catch Utami on a tournament day and he's feeling consistent from map number 1, there's very little you can do to stop his roll. And right now, Utami's doing whatever he can to keep this going as long as possible. He knows he's got to get this bracket reset. He knows both players are going to be a little bit more tired going into it because of the difficulty and intensity of this pool overall right now. He's going to try and take this as fast as he possibly can, and right now is his opportunity to go up 4 points at the beginning of the match. Given all things considered, this could be pretty close. xootynator didn't look too bad on that hidden 4, had a lot of opportunities to bring it back, just some chain missing working against her right now. Utami has looked just as good here. This map is crazy for those of you who are asking. Not just crazy once, crazy twice.
It's double crazy. This map went through so many iterations and so many changes and buffs and nerfs and reworks as a custom, because like, what can we even say? It's a Grand Finals Nomod 6 that isn't just raw rhythm. It's a lot about reading as well. And those types of maps are so hard to balance. But this is a scary spot for xootynator because, like Hidden 2, this is the type of thing where Utami, as we've discussed at length, really made his name early on in the tournament scene. Yes, he is indeed still FCing at 300 combo while, Zooty's at 87 AC and hasn't even crested 40,000 points. That is not anything against her. That is how hard this map is unless you were an absolute specialist in the skill set. It finally does find a couple breaks, but he already has a 100,000 point lead. I mean, it's really rough times here for xootynator, unfortunately, as we just watch Utami running roughshod over this pick.
I mean, you can just see how difficult this pick is, especially compared to, something like Hidden 2, which was very reading-oriented. This, a lot of aim control and precise aim control at these lower approach ratings, so it leaves a lot of room for chain missing and big sets of breaks on this map here. Another very difficult section right now. I don't know how anyone combos
Utami
this.
just comboed that entire thing. Those back and forth sliders, he just said, yeah, I hit those, no problem.
That pattern's terrible. That pattern is so bad to play. It's like impossible to consistently hit unless you are just the single best aim control player of all time ever, of all time. Badu, please. This is just crazy.
This is like Badu, Akoro, Eri, you get the idea, like just the Gunga reading players, basically. And Utami is not gonna let up anytime soon because, once he puts his foot on the gas, he presses it all the way down. He is firmly ensconced in the driver's seat, and man, oh man, this is a performance and a half. You're not supposed to do this sort of thing, by the way. In case anybody was wondering, this is not normal. Utami is showing off a level of skill that is rarely seen at this level by anyone. Yeah, that's a 358k. He more than doubles xootynator's score. 8 misses against 42, 91 AC against 84, 533 max combo against 176. I think you begin to get the idea of the sort of performance that Utami is putting on in front of our eyes today.
For the third time I've mentioned it this round, Utami shows up for a match. He's playing well. He's consistent at basically every single skill set in the game that you throw at him. How do you respond to that? Unless you are having the match of your career, when Utami is playing like this, how do you respond to it? And xootynator, she's gonna end up going for the hidden 3. I mentioned earlier, it's a very tapping intensive Nomod 3. You've got these dense cut bursts at the beginning into these high intensity spacing slider section at the ending right here. If xootynator's able to maintain the tapping on this map, I think she would do very well on this. The thing that's just always the question in my mind is, Utami's a stronger tapping player. Will that make a difference right from the beginning of this map?
There's a non-zero chance that it does. You know, as we said when we first mentioned this at the very beginning as a possible pick in this match, this was one of Utami's worst performances yesterday. He put up 282k with 10 misses. So Zooty, you know, takes a look at that and says, hey, it's hidden, it's tech, it's stuff that I'm pretty solid at. Why not go for it? Yeah, but man, if Utami continues playing the way he has been today, and that, you know, finger control and that aim control is as good as it has been through some of these picks, like the hidden 2 Nomad 6, for instance, this is going to be a tough one for Zooty to have a chance in. You know, the momentum that you talked about, Utami is kind of like, you know, that runaway train. He just gets going, he picks up speed, and the only question is, you know, where's the speed going to eventually run out? Where is the momentum going to fall off? And it doesn't look like that's going to be anytime soon. So xootynator just has to try and hold on for dear life and put up the best score she can on stuff that she's good at. You can't be worried about what your opponent is going to do when they're playing this well. You just have to worry about the score you can put up, because you can just expect them to do well. So you're saying, what's my best map here? All right, maybe it's hidden 3, and we'll see what happens.
This map worries me for multiple reasons, and I guess as a slight anecdote, as the person who did the replay for this map for the showcase, and my best score being mid 300Ks on this map is so near impossible to consistently combo, and by no means do I think I am on par with either of these players in here. But what I'm getting at is this map is so hard to be consistent at for this section coming up right here. There's the chain misses from xootynator already, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. You over-aim this at all, and you lose it immediately. Yeah, and this is what I think happened to Utami yesterday. When he put up his 282k yesterday, this is what I think happened. It's impossible. When you lose it, you don't get it back.
There's just no opportunity to try and regain your composure in this intro, because it throws it at you so consistently. Those patterns are impossible. And Utami just managed to combo through most of them. And now he's got a 110k lead. And, you know, much like if you see a great team going ahead by 20 points in a game of basketball, it's hard to imagine that being given up, because it's just the level that he's playing to. It's unlikely to lose the rest of the map by a 120k margin.
Well,
and there's another chain miss from Zooty.
Oh, goodness.
All right, so, oops, says Utami. Don't worry, you are up by 13% accuracy.
We forgive you for your miss. We forgive you.
Don't worry, this is what happens when you aren't on literally your best performance of your lifetime.
I'm sorry for your loss, Utami, of 1% act. I mean, I don't know. This ending section is so much more comboable than the beginning, too. And with this score lead that Utami has gotten at the beginning here, and thus xootynator literally FCs the ending of the map, and Utami breaks right now. Recovering 150,000 score at the ending of this map is not easy. I'm not saying the ending of the map is easy. I'm just saying it's more comboable. Utami does over-aim that quick triple right there. xootynator is able to hit the space part here, but this part right here is not easy by any means. If xootynator is able to FC it, she'll claw back a little bit of score here, though. So I'm excited to see if she's able to hit a lot of this. Very more tech-intensive section at the end here.
She has to hold combo through this entire ending, too. In her favor is the fact that Utami has found several misses, but there is the combo break. If there was ever a chance in this pick, I'm pretty sure it just went out the window for xootynator, unfortunately enough. It would have been a remarkable comeback if it had happened. It would have been remarkable just to make this close. But unfortunately, the breaks happen, and even with Utami really struggling in the second half of this map, it just doesn't matter. He's up 7% accuracy, he's up 115k score, and he is about to be up 6 points to 1.
Well, that accuracy doing a lot of favors for Utami right here. xootynator had a pretty decent, respectable combo at one of these ending sections. She's putting up another one right now, but 6% is one of the biggest accuracy leads we've seen thus far. And unironically, again, when you have that much of an act deficit, it's probably half or more of the score difference on this map right now. I don't know how the hell they're comboing this ending section. What in the world? What?
Nah, they both just FC'd that entire ending.
What?
Nah, man.
They both hit the slider stream.
Look at that, exactly 100k score difference, by the way. Precisely 100,000 points, even with that ridiculous ending from both players. That, I don't know, you're not supposed to both hit that ending, first of all, but you're not supposed to hit as much of the intro as Utami just hit either. He improved his score, by the way, from yesterday, this by 100,000 points. He put up 280k yesterday, he put up 380k today. Zooty put up a score that would have lost to Utami by like 600 points if he had done what he did yesterday. But he said, no, this is the grand finals. I'm taking it up a level. I'm turning this up to 11, and I am going to win 6 points in a row. And now that is, well, a lot of match points in hand for this first set. Utami looking like almost a near guarantee at this juncture that we're going to see a bracket reset in this match because his momentum is absolutely absurd right now in this match.
I mean, how do you even begin to respond to this type of performance from Utami? Especially at this point in the match, you've got one map left, and it's Utami's pick. And he's on to bracket reset after this, and he's going straight in for a double time speed pick. Like, he's just going to keep going. Is the tapping intensity in this match is just going to absolutely obliterate xootynator at some point. I mean, Utami's seemingly endless stamina is just not stopping.
Yeah, And what's crazy, too, about his ability to play the speed and stamina is his ability to go from other skill sets that are completely different to and from stamina. He goes first pick Hidden 2, which is like relatively low BPM reading and aim. Then his second pick is Nomod 5, which is raw speed and stamina and finger control. Then he goes Nomad 6, which is reading. Like, the ability to switch between skill sets, it's not like he has to come into a match and first pick go Nomad 5, DT2, DT3, like back to back to back. He can do whatever he wants and still be as good on every skill set.
Well, Vaxay 2, says xootynator.
Yeah, this is certainly a Vaxay-esque performance from Utami. This definitely has shades of what Vaxay did to people in his heyday, and I don't think this map is going to be pretty, unfortunately, for Zooty.
Well, if Utami wants to prove to us that he's Vaxay 2, I think he's going to have to put up a very good score on this one right now. He's been doing a good job of it thus far. Finger control favoring him so much right now. Just the speed difference on this map. And again, nothing against xootynator right now. This is just not what she's good at. This is just not what she plays. And unfortunately for her, Utami has just been significantly more confident on the opposing picks in this match today, and that's been the real difference here. Normally, xootynator can go into a match, she'll lose the tapping speed maps against Utami, and she'll go right back in and pick maps that fit into her skill set. Unfortunately, the case of the match today has been Utami's been good at the maps that he's normally good at tapping-wise, and he's just been winning the other maps too because of how confident he's been today. So, you know, is just really, really no accurate way to describe, like, the feeling of loss that this must be right now. Like, you know, how do you, and I'm impressed enough that she's kept herself, you know, motivated up to this point, and that's better than a lot of people can say, especially being down this much and being forced onto picks that you're not comfortable with so far. I'm trying to do whatever I can to not look at the right-hand side of my screen right now in terms of there's no freaking way.
No,
I am done. I'm so
freaking done.
I'm leaving. I'm leaving.
Good. Yeah, goodbye. It's over. I don't care that there's another whole set we have to play. I don't care that Utami still has to win 7 more entire maps. He just won the first set of this grand finals with an FC on Terminal DT. That's not allowed. You're not supposed to do that. You don't come into grand finals. Remember, all the way back at the beginning, we were talking about the map, we were talking about the possible picks for these players and the match yesterday and how they would compare. And we said that there weren't FCs this week and there were not likely to be FCs this week. Well, Utami decides to come in and prove us wrong in the most hideously embarrassing way possible with an FC On the DT3, which is, by the way, 278 BPM, just raw finger control and speed stamina, it's 7 maps in a row. I don't know. Like, Zooty came in, first picks Nomod 1, wins it, and then Utami says, okay, that was nice, you had your fun, now I'm gonna just go ahead and do what I do best and clean house. It's ridiculous what we just saw from Utami on those 7 picks, because this was not xootynator playing, strictly speaking, badly by any means. This was Utami playing one of the best sets of a tournament match that you're likely going to see anytime soon and anytime in the past. And now if you're Zooty, you have to somehow figure out how to recover from that set and try to come up with maybe some new strategies. There's some maps that were left up that weren't picked or banned. Maybe you try and figure out which of those sound better to you, because you're not just going to roll over and die. You're too competitive for that. But you're in a position where everything just feels like it's collapsing around you, as Utami is relentless and winning in every map and every skill set that's out there on the board.
Why play? Oh my god. I'm back. I can't even. I just needed to sit down on the ground for a minute. I just needed to. I'm so dumbfounded. It's been so long, I think, since we have seen performances to this level in tournament play this consistently on maps that are the hardest you've ever seen. There's maybe 3 tournaments that hit this level of difficulty in map pools and overall tournament play. And the fact that it is starting to now become not enough to prevent FCs still, where do you go from here as a tournament pooler, as a community from here? Like, what happens when you've got maps that for the long... I mean, Terminal was like a Hard Rock pick for years, and now it's a DT pick that Utami can come in and FC, and xootynator, being one of the best tournament players in the world, is unable to respond to it. Like, what level do you have to reach in order to be regarded in this way? xootynator was so strong through this entire match, and Utami just continuously goes in for strength skill sets and off gimmick stuff and tapping and aim, and he puts up the scores that are more than necessary for it. And we talked in kind of the pre-match here about how he had something to prove after last year taking a bracket reset loss to Flying Tuna, and by God is he doing it right now. He has made significant improvements from last year that I don't think anyone expected to see this much improvement from last year. And xootynator's made improvements too, and both of these players are playing out of their minds. I'm so impressed with both of these players right now, and I want to get that across how cool it is to watch tournament play at this level and see how this scene has grown into what this is right now. And I'm going off on the tangent of a lifetime because of it. I am so proud of what I'm seeing from both of these players who have been in the scene for a very long time and have now hit this level of play. I mean, you cannot be more proud of what they've done here.
If you have been around in the scene, to see the development of player skill, of pool difficulty, of pool quality, it's night and day. I don't think, for people who are newer, it's impossible to contextualize just how crazy the things that we see today and think of as normal, just how crazy those things are. If you go back to 2017, 2018, 4 or 5 years ago in the tournament scene, I mean, grand finals were what, 7.2 stars maybe? 7.5 stars? Now you're an entire star above that, and that's post-star rating rework, where everything is a little bit lower in the average skill set. Pretty much anything other than speed is going to be, on average, a lower star rating than it was back then for the same map. If you see people going from getting, you know what, 400K scores in grand finals a few years ago to putting up FCs on pools that are a star rating harder, it's ridiculous to think about how far everyone has come, and people like xootynator and Utami in this match just leading the way in premier 1v1 setting like this one, where these are hard pools. Like, you're not going to see pools much harder than this ever. You know, I guess there's the obvious like Hippo Cup reference to be made there, but that's its own whole category of crazy. For a more standard setting, to see the performances that we just get to see from Zooty and Utami, and to think of them as just being the expectation, it's truly something to be amazed by, and the pride in the growth of these players is immeasurable.
I cannot like stress enough what this means for a bracket reset now. Obviously, Utami, coming from the losers bracket, has now forced a second match right now, and I believe we're going to get you all some updated statistics based on that previous match in terms of what we're looking at. But xootynator's aim rating stayed exactly the same across a pool that was significantly more difficult than previous rounds. That speaks so much more, I think, than the score line of this match does. Like, this score line seems to favor Utami so heavily, but when you look at where xootynator's strengths were in this match, and I think it just shows that both of these players are contesting each other in the skill sets so much that even though you can put up a top rating for some of these, you know, statistical skill sets in here, it means not as much in a lot of cases here. So right up on your screen now, you'll see exactly what we're looking at right here. Utami went up in performance in every single category on grand final.
Right. Like, we went from a 7.5 star average pool to a 7.8 star average pool. So 0.3 on average. And like, when you consider what that means at this level to go up that much, that's not okay. The fact that he went up in every single category is the most absurd thing I think I've ever seen.
Oh my goodness. I mean, it's so consistently comfortable at these high star, high intensity pools, and this is not the type of pool that you're supposed to improve your statistics on. This is the type of pool that you maybe do the same on or drop in some categories. The fact that he has gone up in everything is more than impressive, and I wasn't actually expecting him to go up in every category. xootynator, you know, it says she went down in every category, but her ratings didn't change all that much. She stayed relatively similar. I mean, her aim rating only went down, you know, a tiny bit here. And every single other rating saying, you know, very similar margin. So going into this bracket reset, xootynator, she's got her second opportunity now to try and make a little bit of a reset, I think, from that first match on her skill sets. And I think she's got a very good chance of taking a couple more points on this, because essentially you're going into a second set now. Utami's going to have to put up the same performance he just did to win by the same margin. There were a lot of contested picks in there, and if Utami wasn't playing as well as he was, this match could have been much closer. It could have still been ongoing in the first set if he wasn't able to put up the scores that he did. So asking him to do that a second time, that would seriously prove the consistency above anything else.
Yeah, there were very, very close picks, right? I mean, Hard Rock won 15K, Hidden 4, 22K, and Utami improving his Hidden 3 score from yesterday by 100,000 points to win it. If he hadn't improved by that much, it would have been incredibly close as well. So like you said, he has to do what he just did again, which is that bracket reset advantage. That's why it's so huge. The scary thing to me is to think that he can do that, because that's just how good Utami is when he is on a day where he is just laser focused and ready to go and putting forth the performances that he's capable of. Zooty, though, I think probably kind of low rolled some picks. I think she's definitely going to improve on some stuff. And I wonder as well, what picks she might decide to change here. If she decides to go somewhere else with a couple of these picks that she lost, or does she try to run back kind of the same stuff? Obviously, with it only being 7-1, we only saw 4 picks. There still could have been 2 more from each player. So it gets a little more dicey. Actually, 3 more from Utami, 2 more from Zooty. It gets a little tricky to try and predict, but there is a world where Zooty can come out and pick some different stuff that maybe she ends up having better luck with.
Well, I think she should stick to the aim again. According to a lot of people in chat, Zooty almost hit a very impressive aim play on Tsukinami with DT, so maybe a little bit more confident trying to get rid of some of those tournament nerves. You're in a bracket reset now, and, all things considered, I think some people would say that there may be a lot of pressure on xootynator to win the match right now, but given how that first set went, I feel like the pressure is the lowest it's been for xootynator. If you're going into this match, and it sounds counterintuitive to say it out loud, but when you've lost a match 7-1 like that, and you go into a second set against the same player on the same pool 15 minutes later, I feel like you're almost less stressed about it than you were in the first set. Because in the first set, anything can happen. You don't know what Utami's going to do today. Now that you know what he's going to do and you know what to expect, you're not hyping anything up. You're not setting yourself up for failure by expecting something that you haven't already seen. So she may be slightly less nervous going into the second match, or maybe just a little bit more lackadaisical about things, which can help in some cases, especially on these big aim maps where you have to focus a little bit more. And I'm not saying that is the case, but it definitely is something to take into consideration. And given apparently how she's playing in solo during the pause in between these matches, it sounds like she's playing pretty freaking well. So I'm excited to see what she's able to come out and put on a show for us, hopefully, in the second set here. Obviously, she's not the #1 seed for no reason. She's not in the grand finals for no reason here. Likewise with Utami, and I think that, it would be amazing to see her make a little bit of a turnaround here and push Utami to the, the brink of tiebreaker, maybe. Who knows? I don't know.
Right? We don't know anything. All we know is what we just saw in the first set. I think that mindset thing is very interesting, because it is so polarizing for different players. There's some people who will get into a grand finals from winner's side, maybe, I don't want to say out of luck, but maybe having a slightly easier bracket or winning a match, that maybe they felt like they necessarily wouldn't have normally won. And so, the mindset is, okay, I'm kind of the underdog, even though I'm from the winner's bracket. And, you come in and you get wiped in the first set, and then you're just like, okay, I'm done here. And you get wiped again in the second set. But I think that's not the case here for xootynator. I think she has way too much pride in her ability. She has way too much skill as well for anything like that to affect her. So I do agree that I think she's going to be in a position where it's kind of just go out and see what happens. Just try to have as much fun with it as you can, because like you said, what's coming now. What Utami is capable of on this pool in like a setting like this. So, just go out and make some picks and kind of try to do the best that you can with them, and don't worry about the outcome, because you can't control the fact that Utami is going to come out and FC DT3. Like, you have no control over that. So you come into the second set and you just say, all right, maybe we keep some of the same bands, maybe we keep some of the same picks, and we just come out and perform better on them now that we're a little bit more loose and we're a little bit more prepared to just kind of play some Osu instead of being dead set on, oh my god, the pressure of this grand finals is here.
Well,
but we'll see.
Pressure's on for real now. Utami going to stay exactly the same with the Stoicism band. Also going to be the exact same for xootynator with our DT2 from Wagaki band. We're going to get into these second sets of bands. I'm interested to see if they're going to keep the same bands on this next set here. Although, based on the first set, xootynator want to go DT2, DT3 after that performance on Terminal, because I don't know. Maybe you leave Nomod 2 up now that you know he's going to FC Terminal, because maybe there's a slightly bigger chance that he doesn't FC Nomod 2. Yeah, there it is. Okay, yeah. So no guaranteed FC today.
Yeah. So Utami now gets the opportunity to pick Nomod 2 in this set if he wants to. Everything else the same, 3 of the same bands. Let's see though if she adjusts her pick order at all, or if she goes to the one map that she won in that first set and just okay, all right. So okay, she goes into solo. She chokes the very end of Tsunami, which would be 1k PP. She says, all right, I am a PP map player. I'm going to pick the DT1, the high approach rate, the aim DT pick. I am feeling good on aim and the DT pool. Let's get this one on the board first. I like the pick. Adjustment. It's so good. I like
this. This is such a good first pick here. This is something that we don't talk about a lot, and I want to get a chance to mention this before the map starts. People don't talk as much in matches about confidence and going into matches. People always talk about tournament players that maybe lose a little bit of motivation as they have stopped performing in matches. xootynator, she doesn't give a damn. She just lost 7-1 because Utami put on the match of a lifetime. She goes in, almost sets a 1k in solo, and the pause and says, you know what? I'm going in for DT1 right now. I almost got a 1k once. I'm going to do it twice in a row. I'm a great aim player. I'm a great speed aim player. And I'm going to get on the board with a pick that Utami won't even see coming from a freaking mile away.
I love this adjustment. It's so good. This is awesome to see a quick change in pick and into a skill set that Zooty is really strong in. So, set 2, 3 of the same 4 bands, but a new map as the first pick here. We're going DT1. We're going Necrophantasia. Tommy put up 520k or so on this yesterday. He's going to have to do better than that, I think, today, because I think xootynator is going to come out ready to go on this map, and she's going to put up a really good score.
Her aim just looks so confident right now on 10.3. Generally, you see 10.3 with players that are not quite as confident with it. Cursor's a little bit more flow aim heavy. They're kind of, deviating from the circles a little bit. xootynator, snap to the circle, hits the circle instantly. She knows exactly where she's going, when she needs to be there. Utami looking pretty good alongside it. Both players holding the FC in the
stand full area. Stand full area.
That could be part of it. Better aim control on a bigger area. Yeah. No, absolutely. I think, even with that fact, it still looks pretty good right now. Tommy's losing on the accuracy just a little bit here, slightly less confident.
It's the first time we've said that all day. He is literally, I think he was behind for like a part of literally one map in accuracy in the entire first set, and that was it. The rest of the time he was ahead in accuracy the entire way through.
Single tapper.
But maybe just not quite as comfortable with the AR. 10.5 on this one's a little higher than a lot of people. Here we go into the big jumps. It is going to be both players breaking.
I like it though. This is a mega accolade for Zooty.
That's a little anticlimactic to have both of them break on the diff spike, but Zooty now a 2% accuracy lead.
Yeah, that's a big accolade. We saw it from Utami earlier. Yeah, right. The act means a difference.
The act can be huge. It's almost identical combo. However many breaks they both may have had, they both had their last break on the same note, and now both building some combo back up. Okay, Zooty is in fact, I think, 2 combo ahead, so maybe not quite exactly, but close enough. And now it's just a holding pattern, because now we just kind of wait until the next diff spike for anything to really happen. Any break before then would be shocking, to say the least.
Yeah. I mean, both players have been so consistent so far. xootynator's basically doing what Utami did last time, putting up 99% through the halfway point of a map, with maybe a 1.5% act deficit on Utami right now. Both players have looked so confident on these kind of refrain build-up sections right here. The sliders have had no issue whatsoever. It's just been the big jump section coming up right here, though. This is the one.
It's gonna be the jumps into the kick sliders, into the slow slider. Everybody knows this build-up. Everybody knows this diff spike. Here we go.
I want both of them to hit it.
And neither. All right, it's a trade again, which is fine for Zooty. It's absolutely in her favor. She's still up by 2.4% accuracy. That was the only chance that Utami really had to get back into this one.
Those are so hard. Those are like, it doesn't even come across on stream how hard those jump sections are. Even for like really proficient 10.3 aim DT players, like those are so hard. Rafis' play on this years ago was unbelievable.
Yeah, that was like ahead of his time for sure.
Oh, Zooty finds a miss, but it might not. Oh my god, what's happening? Wait, Zooty.
Utami's slider broke on the kick slider jump.
She might be saved by that. She might be saved.
She
She's
should
a little
be
nervous,
okay.
maybe. Fingers on the
Yeah.
wrong keys.
She would have to.
Is that a wobbleful finger on the wrong keys moment?
She would have to have a pretty bad time at the ending here for Utami to have any chance to come back. That accuracy lead, as we've said a lot this match, is helping her out quite a bit, and she's going to take this point. Wow. All right, so aim consistency first pick in set 1 goes to Zooty. Aim consistency first pick at high AR in set 2 also goes to Zooty. And now what this does as well is it opens up Nomod 1 as her second pick, which is kind of a nice thing because you already won it once. So now you've got the confidence in that pick to try and go ahead and win it again.
Oh my goodness. Utami did better than he did.
9 miss for Zooty versus 5 miss for Utami, but
he didn't.
Didn't really look like it. It didn't really look like it. Yeah, I think his score yesterday was 519K. His score today was 516K. So he's the definition of consistent, I guess. Unfortunately, Zooty just a little bit stronger. That aim held up just a little better. The accuracy held up enough. I think if you magically make his accuracy 98 on this pick, does he win? Or how close is it? Anyone want to run the numbers for me here?
What are we running again?
If they had equal accuracy, how close would that have been?
1% act difference? I don't think so.
It was like 1 point. It was higher than that though.
I think it needs to be a big act difference to have that much score difference.
It was 1.6.
Yeah, but it was like 80,000 score or 60,000 score.
It was 54K score. It was 54K score and 1.6% act. That's not enough to win, but it's close. Anyway, we're going back to Hidden 2 first pick. Utami tried and tested. Grid snap, low AR, aim reading Hidden first pick. We saw what he did on this first time around, and he's going to look to replicate, and so he's going to look to improve. She didn't lose this by a whole lot. It was relatively close, 465K to 379K last time around. That is not an unachievable improvement in score for Zooty. And it's also within the realm of decrease in score from Utami. So, see how it goes.
Well, this was one of the very favored maps to Utami in that first set. And xootynator, having practiced speed aim DT on the pause, I don't think is going to have a significant turnaround in performance on this map from the first set. We're going to see pretty close towards the beginning right here. I guess the only difference would be whether or not Utami is able to put up the same performance that he did on the first set. xootynator's play wasn't that bad, but Utami's play was just so out of this world impressive that it was going to be very difficult for her to find a recovery. And Utami's going to find a pretty early break right here. It's something that we talked about as well. Utami, a lot of the score difference in that first match was how well Utami was playing in the first set. If he doesn't play that way again, he's got a lot more to worry about in this match here because xootynator was still consistent across a lot of picks here. She's going to have a pretty early lead on Grid Night here. It's not going to maintain for very long with that chain miss, though.
Yeah, we talked a lot about the effect of momentum and being a strong front runner, and it's what led Utami to that big win in the first set. Here, he's going to try to repeat that. Okay, Zooty says, never mind. I guess the early stage of this map was extraordinary for her, and no longer is that the case. She finds several misses, and look at that. We're back at the status quo of this match, where Utami has a combo lead and a 4% accuracy lead, and Zooty is just kind of left in the dust to watch his retreating taillights.
I'm impressed with the recovery from xootynator from the first set, though. This is a vastly improved play from the first time through on this, so great to see that she's feeling a little bit more confident in this match right now, although not quite going to be enough against Utami's significantly stronger performance than most players would have on this big reading section right now. Both players looking pretty good on that right here into the last couple sections. Unfortunately, out of time to make a comeback, but again, look at this improvement from xootynator here. She's going to put up almost 400K. Then Utami is going to put up almost 500K. Look at that.
Yep. Wow. And this is what you live for in bracket resets, are both players improving their performances. 501 to 419, up from 465 to 379. So basically identical improvements from the two players. Actually, they just both went up 40K. That's actually kind of remarkable. That's really cool to see. And that's what you want in a bracket reset. Also, 3,105 miss from Utami, because that's what happens, I guess, when he plays these maps. But that's starting off identical to the first set. Literally, almost the same score gaps on the first two maps as they had before, on a similar but not the same map, and then of course the same first pick for Utami. Improvement is good though. You want to see improvement from the scores for xootynator, because she can, like we talked about, she can make this match really, really close if she can just improve by a little bit on some of these picks. And it's going to be hidden, or Nomod won as the first pick, or the second pick, excuse me. And this was her first pick, and she won it last set. And getting that DT1 in there to take the 1-0 lead means that she can pick a map that she already won once and try to take a 2-1 lead instead of falling behind the early break point with, that lack of a comfortable first-second pick combo. Utami can improve his score on this, though. Zooty can as well. Her aim looked so good in, if not, perfect in the previous DT1, her aim looked really good in solo. So I think we're going to see some better scores on this as well.
I'm excited to see some improvements from this. We talked about how xootynator definitely has a little bit less pressure on her for this match right now. So we've got some improvements on both maps. Hopefully, Necrophantasia, first time we saw the map with xootynator, looked really, really consistent on the aim there. Both players only missing on those really big aim sections, and then that one kind of blunder part after the second one. But xootynator winning this in the first set, there's always that little question mark up there with Nomod 1 and, continuous, replays of something with big aim and, the high chances of you just misaiming something, especially when you've got borderline cross screens for the entire map here. But xootynator did have a decent enough lead in the first set that I don't know if she's got that much to worry about in the later parts of this map right now, as long as she puts up a similar performance to before.
I mean, that being said, the similar performance to before was only 20K score gap. That's very, very tight. Now, we talked a lot, of course, about the ACK difference and some random misaims from Utami. So I would look for an improvement here. I'd be looking at, 420, 440K if I'm xootynator. But Utami having a little more trouble at the beginning than he did last time. And look, Zooty's first break was on the exact same pattern, I think, as her first break last time on that aim triple. Fortunately for her, Utami is going to find a couple breaks of his own, so won't be able to try to bring back any of the score yet. Once again, accuracy lead Utami, combo and miscount lead to xootynator. Boy, it feels like I'm reading off of a script at this point.
Yeah, this is really... an unfortunate break from xootynator right there. Gonna a little bit of a leeway for Utami here. Both players continually holding combo through the difficult parts here. Remember before, 400K is basically the score to beat right now. Utami is already looking to improve on the score from before. We talked about from both the first playthrough and the second playthrough, he was barely able to get over 400 combo. So, we're looking for some sort of improvement, and Utami's looking to push that right now. Has the best combo he's had across both playthroughs right now.
And the lead is finally going to go his way, but you kind of feel like Zooty, when she gets comfortable with an aim map, is definitely the superior raw aim player of these two. No misses in quite a while. He misses the same bottom jump again. Utami missed that exact same note the first time around. I kind of hoped that he might learn the position of that bottom center circle. Apparently I was mistaken, and now we're just going to see the exact same scenario as we saw the previous time this was played, with Zooty in the lead. She does find a slider break, though. She didn't make as big of a gap as she did last time, so this is going to stay closer than it did the first time around.
She made 20K, but Utami's going to bring a bunch of that back right here as long as he doesn't find a miss. He's got a slight acme, but he does find a break. That's just into 10,000 score difference between the two right here. xootynator's going to be able to bring back that 20K, and here it is. The similar performance to the first set. xootynator's going to look to make a very, very slight improvement from the first set. 402K was her score, and she's continuing to hold through these ending jumps right now. She is 10,000 above her best score from before. Utami finding breaks at the jumps at the ending right here. He will not be getting a better score than he got in the last set or the set before it. Just barely right here, 400K into the ending, but xootynator making that improvement. improvement by 50k is going to widen that gap. She still would have won, actually, by like 900 points if she put up the same performance.
Yep. Utami put up 383k before, 401k now. She put up 402k before, 450k now. This feels like we're just seeing rehashes 3 times in a row of just things we've seen before, where the improvement is there from both players, and the one who won it before is just kind of keeping that strength up. It's really wild the way that this set is already going, where they're both improving their scores, but they're improving them by like the same margins, so the gaps aren't really increasing by all that much. They're just getting better scores, which, when you consider everything that we saw in that first set, is kind of ridiculous to think about. And it is going to lead back into the Nomod 6, everybody's favorite first 2 pick pair, hidden 2 into Nomod 6. So Utami going to hold off on some of that speed stamina for a little bit longer. He does have Nomod 2, Nomod 5 in his back pocket. Everybody remembers what we saw on Nomod 6 last set from Utami. He has set himself a nearly impossibly high bar at 358k, 8 misses. I don't know that this trend of improved scores is necessarily going to continue on this map.
Well, this one, yeah, I definitely have to agree. We saw the act difference, I believe, at the beginning of this map on the last playthrough was, I think the difference between the 2 players hit more than a 10% difference between the 2 of them. So, if Utami even, and it's similar to what we've been talking about with xootynator, if Utami maintains some sort of semblance to his performance in the previous match on the picks that he won, there's really not going to be too much that, either player is going to do about it, because to see an improvement across the board on a lot of these maps would be so ridiculous after the performances that we saw in the first set, and likewise with xootynator on the Nomod 1, it was something similar, and here we are seeing right from the beginning, it's already that act deficit coming into play, it's already the miscount, and, Tommy's going to do exactly what he did in the first set.
He's holding 99, I don't care that it's only 200 combo in, he's holding 99! Yeah, this is, the nice thing for Tommy in this matchup, as we kind of discussed and alluded to previously, is that if he has more picks of his own that are super, super favored to him than xootynator does in this matchup. So if he just wins his own picks, like, he's almost guaranteed a tiebreaker. xootynator added in the little wrinkle of the DT1, which maybe she had in her back pocket for late in the first set, and we never got to see. Hard to say. But other than that, once you get past that sort of aim stuff, it gets really tricky for her. And you see on maps like this just how favored the Utami maps are to Utami. Like, it's, again, 130, 140k, percent accuracy lead. And he's now put up the same combo as he did in the preceding match. So I guess maybe he will improve his score. I guess that's a thing that's possible. Don't hit this pattern again. I swear to God, if you hit this pattern again, I am quitting Osu commentary for.
Oh my God.
He hit it again.
Oh my God.
He hit it again. Nah, man.
He had the combo before this time, too. His act is
I don't
gone,
know what I'm watching. Who cares about his accuracy?
Doesn't even matter.
He has 750 combo. I don't care that his accuracy is 90%. It doesn't matter.
I am so unbelievably impressed by this performance right now. I don't want to jinx anything.
He misaimed. He misaimed. Oh. God, okay, so I said that it would be hard to improve on the score. Well, Utami's just gone and improved his score by 100,000 points. No big deal there. No big deal there. That's a totally normal thing to have happen. Okay, all right.
Shane missed at the end. He almost hit 500K.
Little trouble at the end, but he went from 358k to 484k. Utami on his skill set does things like that, and there's just not much you can do about it except say, all right, we're going next pick, because that's untouchable for all but about 3 people in the world. Yeah, eight misses. By the way, that's the exact same miscount as he had previously. He dropped his accuracy a little bit, but he increased his combo by, 350.
Okay, so we talked literally just
score.
about how they wouldn't make improvements. We literally just talked about how there shouldn't be big improvements.
Yeah, a pool this hard, you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to improve like that.
Yeah, this is not something that you normally see. So he's gonna go for a different area now. I like this.
See?
I like the shift.
This is what I was hoping to see. Were these adjustments from Zooty in her pick? She's saying, no, I'm not going to go back to that, to the hidden 3. I'm not going to go back to the hidden 4. Like, those are not picks that are favored to me. Let's go Hard Rock pool, because Utami isn't necessarily at his strongest on Hard Rock, and this map is got a lot of aim in it. xootynator aim, we've been talking about it. She's just going with the aim skill set, and it worked out on her first 2 picks. Maybe it'll work out 3 in a row.
For xootynator's sake, I hope it does, because again, this is the shift that we kind of talked about in the first match, was that the pressure is not quite as high, I think, on this set directly on xootynator. I think there's pressure on both players now that they're on an even playing field in terms of, you know, who can win and lose this match. So right now, xootynator's just going with the flow of things. She's just like, you know what, I'm pretty good at this map. I'll give it a shot, and it's working out for her thus far. Went right back into Nomod 1. It worked. Went into the DT1. She knew she was playing the 10.3 well right now. She's going to find a little bit of an under-aim on some of these space streams at the beginning right here, but this map does have plenty of time left and plenty of break spots left, so certainly not over yet. And there is a break from Utami. Yeah, Zooty's really good at these tech streams if you've seen Euphoria.
Yeah,
and a lot of other maps.
And it's interesting because this map has this sort of like almost reading aspect to it because of those overlapping back and forth streams and the slider streams as well. But man, you have to have your flow aim on point, and unfortunately Zooty not able to keep up. Already 100k down, and now you're getting into this little 1/3 aim section, and it's a break from Utami, but the caveat there is that it doesn't really help xootynator out that much. Guess what, guys? Guess what's happening once again? xootynator has the combo lead. Utami has a nearly 4%, now dropping a little bit down to 3% accuracy lead. It's just how this match has gone, but there is still a lot of time in this pick. This is comebackable if Utami has a little trouble in the last third and Zooty can FC it. Never gets that easy though, so it's not like there's free combo here for her. Oh, but
that break is big. That's a big one. She looked good at the tech section on the earlier maps.
If she holds, this is now doable.
This is aim right now. This is aim. Oh, the sliders. Oh, Utami!
Oh, she breaks on the triple.
She has it though. She had the score lead. She has to hold combo. She cannot.
Oh, this is going to be
These
so
are Euphoria
jump
accuracy. It's the 1/3.
The last moment, and she barely holds on. 9,000 points. Wow.
Dang, that's a close one.
That combo. That combo. It's a combo game.
Combo is key.
Combo is king. And Zooty ascends to the throne. Takes 3-2 lead. This set already going quite differently. We've seen 2 new maps, and xootynator has won both of them.
Well, she is really, I mean, okay. All things considered, we talked about how she looked pretty decent in that first match, despite how the scoreline was, just given Matthew's performance overall. But right now, this is even better than what we saw before. xootynator basically has switched positions with whatever Utami was doing, and she's now making that recovery that she needed to. And this is what we talked about in between the 2 matches. xootynator was having a really decent match. The only difference was that Utami was overperforming on a lot of the picks that xootynator is normally super good and consistent at, and it was giving her no wiggle room in between stuff like this Nomod 5 and the Nomod 6 that Utami is basically the king of. So you go in now, Utami's not performing quite as well on xootynator's skill sets, and that makes this match a completely different scenario. I do still think maps like Nomod 5 and all of this type of stuff are going to be super Utami favored, but as long as xootynator's got somewhere to fall back on afterwards, it's a big change.
Yep, and you know, this map is almost a throwaway based on what we saw in the first set. I don't really see a world where Zooty can make this close. But, as you said, if she is able to continue playing well on her own picks and Utami can't get, you know, kind of that slight little advantage on them the way he did before, it's a whole different complexion to the match than in the previous one. And what's interesting, too, of course, is that he doesn't have the DT3 this time. If he wants to go a left-hand map after this, it's going to have to be Nomod 2. I don't know how much that one, if that one necessarily favors him as much as the Nomod 5 and the DT3 did. We'll have to see if he ends up picking that. We're kind of going to get into uncertain territory because we're going to get into picks that we haven't seen yet. And once again, by the way, you're seeing the intro going the same way as it did last time, with xootynator holding a pretty decent combo, albeit with lower accuracy, kind of staving off the inevitable for as long as she can on this pick before we start to get into the longer bursts and streams where she will, well, drop a ton of accuracy but still hold combo. I think she's like has she already improved her max combo, by the way? She's getting close.
She definitely has, I feel like. Her combo on this in the first set was 610. So big improvement now, 200 combo plus the accuracy is still there too. The difference though is Utami didn't find that early break.
Yeah, the danger for Utami is actually like exists here because his aim is like kind of worse than hers. So if he breaks on, you know, sort of nothing, she's still holding combo. Like even though she's at 95x, she's matching. She's what, 70 combo? Excuse me, combined. There it goes. Okay, and that will probably be the deciding factor of this pick unless Utami breaks right about now. Because that's halfway through. Everybody knows how hard that capture is.
Yeah, Utami going to make an improvement from the first set on this map right now. 99 point. Okay, he does break combo, but the act.
It's okay. Yeah, it's fine. The act gap is giving him a 140,000 point lead despite not having a massive combo difference. There's a couple hundred more. But again, 4% act, you can't really argue with that. Score V2 is very punishing to that sort of act gap, and we're seeing that happen over and over and over in this match.
Oh,
and yep. Can he improve his score at this point from previously? Is it possible?
604k if he FCs the rest.
He has to FC the rest of the map. Yeah.
This is impressive enough, though. The accuracy is an improvement as well.
99.46. Previously, did have a little trouble with the accuracy at the end, dropped down to 98.7. He's doing pretty well for himself. Pretty good, as Larry David might say. Drops a little accuracy there. He's got 100k to go to beat his score, because that's really all that matters at this point. Zooty putting up a solid performance, but she just can't quite. It's those longer streams at the end of a section where her stamina runs out. We've seen it happen a few times now. We saw it happen a few times last time as well.
Well, this is, again, it's just one of those maps where I think xootynator, she's doing a good job of holding with it compared to last time. Her accuracy's improved as well, but you know, you do just have the select few picks where Utami's going to be better, and Utami does slider break at the ending, but he's got 99%, which is, he beats his score. He beat it. He did it.
Okay. So this is how absurd this match is, that we saw his score last time of 604k, 2 miss, 98.7 act, and we're like, oh my god, I don't know how anybody's going to do better. And he just comes out and tosses a little 615k, 1 miss, 99.29 act at us, as if to say, you guys thought you could doubt me? What were you thinking? Why did you go that route? You don't underestimate me. I'm sorry, Utami. I apologize. I take it back. You're actually able to improve the most ridiculous scores I've ever seen, round over round, match over match, just from the first set to the bracket reset. That's fine. Go ahead, do that. You're allowed.
Okay. She made improvements, and Utami also did, and you know, both players are doing such a good job right now of picking to their strengths and having a good hold on the beginning of this match. And I think, you know, when xootynator had that first point and she switched it afterwards, it started to get out of hand pretty quickly. And there's the hidden 4 from xootynator. She's going to run it back. This was a close one. This was a very close one.
Like, it almost felt like she should have won this map. And I kind of suspect that she feels the same way. It was going to go to her if she didn't have, 2 misses in that last about 40 combo. and Utami only ended up winning it by 22k, and that's with Zooty having some trouble. She 12 missed, remember. She did not have a great run on this the first time around, so this run back, I think, is fine. I think she fixes some of those misses the way that this set is going, and I think she wins it this time, quite honestly.
Well, given the turnaround that she has made on all of the other picks thus far, I know she's only had Nomod 1 from the previous set here, but the performance difference and the consistency on all of the picks so far has looked so good. And I think if she can continue that for a fourth point here, maybe that tiebreaker might not be too far out of reach for these two.
Yeah, you get to a point in this match where you start thinking about that tiebreaker. If you're very comfortable and confident in your own picks, then maybe you start to say, hey, little bit of Toho might be in our future. But we've got a little ways left to go to that. They both have to win 3 more points. So we will wait and see in this brutally difficult flow aim, finger control, aim control. Don't go to the kitchen and get the sink. You should probably go to the bathroom and get the tub instead, because that's what this throws at you. And once again, we see Zooty with the early break, Utami holding on, Utami with the accuracy lead. Stop me if this sounds familiar.
Well, a little bit, unfortunately, for xootynator right now. We'll see what happens in the latter half. I think that was the big difference maker there. xootynator had some unfortunate breaks towards the beginning and was able to maintain it into the end of the map. And as long as she makes the recovery on the middle, but there's another break that she didn't want to see. Utami's got a very respectable combo right now, has not dropped it on that overlapping section here. We're seeing, unfortunately for xootynator, a bit of a turnaround from Utami's performance rather than hers, which is not the direction she wanted this to go.
There's still so much time in this, though, is the thing, right? It's, over 3.5 minutes long. And, if Utami breaks anytime soon, things can get a lot more even. The accuracy lead is only 1%. It's not humongous like it has been sometimes. But the map gets really hard now. This middle third is absurdly difficult to combo your way through. And if either of them hits it and the other one doesn't, then this map gets fascinating in a hurry. And they're just going to both hit it again, I guess, because that's what happened the first time. It's just, this is actually easy. The secret to playing maps like this is to pretend that they're not hard. And unfortunately, it is now hard for xootynator. And she finds a break. And Utami is still FCing.
Why does he continue to not break?
Play?
Oh my god!
Why play? Why play? Why sign up for tournaments when Utami exists and can just do things like this? I thought he did well to get that 394k last time, and he's going to get 394k 2/3 of the way through this time with a 1,000 plus combo. Somebody want to check the leaderboard for me? Does this even have any hidden FCs?
Can somebody check him PC while you're at it?
There isn't an FC on this, period. Let alone a hidden FC.
There will be shenanigans on this map, potentially.
I just want to throw out there, the best combo anyone has on this on the leaderboard is 1,700. But behind that, nobody has higher than 1,400, and Utami is worryingly quickly approaching that mark.
Why does...
this is terrifying.
Tournament match.
If he gets to 1,440 combo, he will match the second best combo on the leaderboard in a grand finals match with hidden.
Somebody check him PC end game.
Right. Nah, man.
Why? What? This level of finger control and aim control is not something that you have in tournaments.
This is a composite of so many skill sets all at once. And Utami is making it look like child's play.
The top score on this is 394k.
Oh my goodness. That ending is so hard. The last, look at his shakes too. He was so nervous at that ending. 870k! That's rank 2, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's rank 2, and it's with hidden. That's rank 1 hidden by like 800 combo, and that's a hidden hard rock play from xootynator, because of course it is. 1669 combo, 96 AC. I don't care. Words fail me for what we just are seeing. That was Zooty's pick. She thought she had a chance on that. She put up a good score. She would have, I believe, she put up the same score basically as last time. She would have lost it to Utami's previous score again, but like whatever. She came into this thinking she had a chance in that map, and Utami said, I'm actually going to disavow you of that notion and win this by 500k.
Okay. Well, xootynator backfiring a little bit on the run back pick in here. Utami's going to go for the Nomod 2 that was banned against him in the first set of this. 215 BPM streams at spacing, barking, mad dog, Utami skill set filling map. xootynator has been decent at streams today. She looks pretty good on Nomod 5 compared to what she had in the first set. The thing is, Utami has like yet to get under 600k on a Nomod 2, and that was like really early. So what happens now?
Well, I had the opportunity to watch xootynator practicing a little bit, and I asked her, what she thought her bans might be in kind of a joking fashion, because what she's most likely to be choosing between. And, it's like, do I want to, be somewhat embarrassed on Nomod 2, Nomod 5, DT2, or DT3, and it becomes just kind of a little bit of a laughing matter. And I think this was on the list of maps that she just didn't really feel like she was going to have a great time on no matter what the outcome, just because the raw stamina requirement is so incredibly high. It's 3 minutes of 215 BPM streams. Like, that's asking a lot of anyone, and especially of somebody who's really not a left-hand focused player. We'll see what happens, but it's already a lead.
Yeah, this is going to be, kind of the Utami special on the Nomod 2. This is genuinely the skill set that I think, we talked about how it somehow is overlooked a lot of the time, that he's good at, the hidden and reading skill sets a lot of the time, because he's regarded as this, stamina tapping player now. But it's for good reason. He has proven time and time again just how consistent he is on these Nomod 2s. Hopefully he's able to continue doing it in this match today for his sake, because xootynator not looking too bad on this. She's dropping a little bit more accuracy, but the 215 BPM is certainly not significantly out of her range. She has a decent amount of plays on some, faster stream maps here. This one very difficult, high intensity with the spacing, though. That AC difference is so huge.
Hey guys, 5% accuracy diff to Utami here. I was a little worried, and I don't know why. I was maybe a little worried about the aim requirement of this map because, as we've discussed, it's kind of the Zooty specialty. But I wasn't worried after I saw what happened on the last map, because clearly Utami's flow aim is just on another level, and they both hit the screen jumps as well. So this gets scary, though. We're 2/3 of the way through, and nobody's broken in about nearly 2,000 combined combo. Let's put it that way. It gives you an idea of just how well these players are performing on this pick. Terrifying. Bro,
terrifying.
Oh,
the shakes are so bad. Oh, he shook.
Is this comebackable despite the 5% accuracy difference? Excuse me. It's 140k, but like it's so combo dense because it's Nomod 2.
Yeah, really.
No.
Tragedy.
It was. I think it might have been. It's not anymore. There was the chance. It was tantalizingly the carrot dangling in front of xootynator that was a Nomad 2 breakpoint. But there you see the stamina just kind of runs out because it's 215 BPM for 3 minutes straight, and that is, like you said, just a little bit, just a tiny bit outside of her wheelhouse. And now she's gone.
Yeah, there's the chain missing there. Utami not quite as strong as he was on previous rounds with those near FCs on the Nomod 2, but still a more than respectable 550k plus at the ending here. He's going to look to push right into the ending with the combo here. Very, very well done from him on a map that I think fills his skill set perfectly. That is the second point now in the lead for Utami. It's going to go back to xootynator now. She lost that one break point. She's going to make a recovery. She did a really good job of taking the first three. Still in her wheelhouse and still able to go either way on this match, but she's going to have to be very careful about where she goes next. Good combos on both players right now. Just 100 difference between the two, but the chain missing and the accuracy from xootynator, you can see really where the difference is made. I mean, it's 20% accuracy. That is massive difference. We talk about how big of a difference 1 to 2% makes. 20% is over 200,000 score probably. Like,
it's a lot. And yeah, it's to do with the chain misses as well, where you just lose a ton of score. I mean, it all combines for not a great look, unfortunately, when all is said and done. And that's a huge thing right there, because that is a consolidated breakpoint for Utami, which means he just has to win 2 more of his own picks to win, like, the whole thing. Not just to force a tiebreaker, like, that's to win, because now it's 5-3, knocking on the door. Utami is in a good spot. xootynator has Hard Rock 1 still, which was really close last time. And has a new one. Okay. She's throwing all the wrinkles into this match. New maps aplenty. Nomod 3. Yomotsu Hirasaka. Little alt map. A little Evil Elvis alt map, which is about the most uncomfortable alt map you're ever going to see in your life. She's really good at alt, you guys. She's been really good at Nomod 3s over the course of this tournament. I like what she's doing. I like this pick.
She has been going for a slightly different route than the first match in here, and I agree with you. I do like this, and the Nomod 3 has been something that she has proven that she is significantly better than a lot of other players on, and right now, given everything that's happened in this match, she might have a good pick in store for her right now, especially with Utami barely putting above 300k on this map in the first set. We'll see. Her flow aim has definitely not been at 100% on all maps today, though, so we'll see if maybe she's able to recover from some of the earlier maps here, and she's certainly doing it better right out of the gates than Utami is.
Yeah, that was a bunch of misses in the beginning. That's kind of similar to what we saw yesterday from Utami's opponent. In fact, Matthew had some trouble in the beginning of this one. Utami following that up here today. And for the rare occasion that xootynator has a combo lead and an accuracy lead, which are words that we've not been able to say all that often. Which is kind of nice to see. She's so good at this skill set. Like, it's been good to her in this tournament. She's beaten. Has she? I wish I had this stat on hand. Actually, I don't know if she's lost a Nomod 3 in this tournament.
Yeah, I don't actually recall any time that she's lost one yet either, which speaks volumes about her consistency on the Utami, continuing to have a lot of trouble, every couple hundred combo here, so that's going to be even more for her at the beginning. And the more combo she can gain at the beginning right now, the more she's going to be able to run away with this.
This is exactly the start that she wanted and needed on this pick. She's got a big combo. She's got a lot of combo lead, and Utami is just unfortunately not having a great time. This is exactly what you need here if you're Zooty after the way those last 2 maps went, to see what your opponent did on that hidden 4. And then to have a really rough outing on the Nomod 2, and then to be able to come back into a Nomod 3 and look this good, says a lot about the mental state that xootynator is in. She's got to be staying a lot more positive than you think many people might be in this situation, down 5-3 in the bracket reset. A lot of map. This is a very long one, but this is trending toward already over here.
Oh my gosh, the score lead is 150,000 in xootynator's lead. Now she finally finds a break on one of the hardest patterns in the map.
She did not like just toggle on her robo genetics.
Powers, yeah. That's a big gap.
That score, by the way, Zooty's score, not even 2/3 of the way through, is already better than Utami's winning score on this yesterday, and it's 60,000 score now better than Matthew's score on this yesterday. So, like, she's pretty good at alt.
Yeah, this ending section's really difficult too. You can see both of these players having a lot of trouble here on this TI compared to the beginning of the map, especially xootynator, who is holding such a confident combo. It really shows you how difficult the ending of this map gets here. Neither player able to put up any combo whatsoever.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
This map just gets hard and then gets harder and then stays hard. The difficulty is not to be underestimated. And it's really working in xootynator's favor when you put up that kind of lead, and then the map gets more difficult and you just trade breaks back and forth. It's not a bad spot to be in. You don't mind trading breaks once you're up by 150,000. So this is going to be a good point. It's going to be 5-4. It's still only that one break point, but it's going to be Utami's pick next. See something new from him.
Maybe, honestly, he's going to start to run out of the tapping map soon enough, so he really is going to have to look for another, route to take in here. Obviously, with Nomod 2 being gone and all of the maps that he really won in the first set not going in the favor. And that's something that you have to think about for xootynator too going into the rest of this match. Slowly but surely, xootynator can pick as many of these different maps as she possibly can right now. But eventually we're going to get down to the point where xootynator is going to have to win some of the stuff that she got break pointed on in the first set. She's doing a great job of it right now. She just more than doubled Utami's combo, almost tripled his combo from any other playthrough of this. Utami actually got a way significantly worse performance on this one, 300 combo less than the other day on this. So xootynator looking confident on the Nomod 3, maintains the trend of not losing one just yet. She is in a very, very good position right now to start taking hold of this match, bring it even once again. She still needs a break point under her belt in order to force tiebreaker. However, it is only one, and there are plenty of picks left to go. Obviously, it's still 2 points before Utami has a chance to win the match. Zooty only needs 3. That's the difference of one map, and there's 3 picks left.
And now we have to see something different from Utami. There's options out there, but I genuinely am at the point of not knowing what these last couple picks for him are going to be. There's Hidden 3 if he thinks he can replicate that intro performance and he thinks Zooty will do badly on it again. There's DT4, which is the other double time. It's banger. This is such a different type of map.
Banger time.
It's a great song. Yeah, this is a hilarious song, but like, this is the type of map that isn't such a one-sided double time pick as some of the others may have felt, the DT2 and DT3. This, I think, is a little more contested, but Utami has the superior finger control. He has the superior speed. And I think in general, he's probably better on like tech and gimmick sort of stuff. So it's favored to him, but not by maybe quite as much. And this is something that I think that xootynator can surprise people on.
I hope so, because she's been looking good on the flow aim compared to, what I said earlier. She wasn't looking super consistent on it up until that Nomod 3 there, but she looked a lot better earlier. She's going to find some over aims at the beginning here, and again, I think that could just come down to the overall speed and amount of finger control, as well as that 10.3 really does provide some difficulty. You can be really good on 10.3 aim. It's a completely different story to be good on 10.3 dense stuff like this with finger control. Utami just a little bit more confident from the start here. He's got to pick himself up a pretty decent score lead, and given the fact that this map isn't super long, he might be able to maintain that.
Yeah, this is the story of the match on his picks. He's got a 4% accuracy lead. Regardless of what the combo does, that's just going to give him a huge score lead on its own. And when you add in the fact that he has a big combo lead, just because, like you said, a little bit less comfortable for Zooty on this type of map at this approach rate, makes it tougher to be competitive, whereas Utami is much more comfortable, clearly 97 act to 91. And this is so short that it's actually over already, and it's been over for some time.
Yeah, that's a combo.
It's a new map. It's a new pick for this match, and it's another one that's going to work out pretty well for Utami. And now, once this is done, he's at that 6-point mark, which means worst case scenario tiebreaker for him. Best case scenario, he can win it outright. And we're going to come down on the back of a 150,000 point win. 250,000 point win, excuse me. 250,000. We're going to come down to the last picks. This is the last pick of the tournament for xootynator. No matter what happens, she won't get another one after this. That's a lot to stake. It's a lot to have at stake. There's quite a bit at stake here. Do you go Hard Rock 1? Do you risk it? Or do you go somewhere else? I feel like your best option here is Hard Rock 1, because I don't think your best option is Nomod 4. And I don't think your best option is Hidden 3.
Oh my god, it's Hard Rock 1.
Yeah, okay. Well, no surprise there. You know, she lost this, but it was the closest map of the first set, 15,000 points, and like she nearly clawed that one back with a big combo advantage. I think, you know, like what happened with Hidden 4, unfortunately, that's the concern that I have here. Does she improve her score and Utami just takes off in flight like a stealth bomber and just destroys the map? Or does Zooty improve and take the pick and force Utami onto his last map?
Well, a 374,000 score to 359,000. xootynator with almost 200 combo lead. All she needed to do was bring the accuracy a little bit closer, and she would have been able to take the win on that map right here. It was just a more consistent combo overall, I think, for Utami that made the big difference. So, right at the beginning of this map, a lot more telling of how this is going to go. xootynator is going to find an early slider break. It's the same thing that we saw in the previous pick, though. Zooty had a lot of trouble at the beginning with the triples and the faster, you know, burst parts here. Utami's going to find some breaks as well. He's going to pick up a little bit of a score lead there, but it's going to disappear not so fast, actually, as Zooty trades the break. So this is just going to keep going back and forth right until that aim part, I think, again.
Yeah, again, you know, Utami was in the position where he could have, you know, put us back on that script of having the 4% accuracy lead. Instead, it's going to stay very close. Those combos are not that far apart. That score is not that far apart. And once the aim comes in, that's where Zooty really excels.
Right now,
there's a break.
A big combo. Yeah, that's the one that she needed to see.
Advantage, xootynator. Big combo. Score lead will go over.
Couple refrain sections in between these high intensity parts here too, that if she's able to hold combo, she'll pick up a big lead here. This is huge that she's comboing through this burst section right now. This is normally something, especially in the first set we saw, that she would have found a lot more misses in this section against Utami. She's finding a couple at the ending here, but not before Utami misses though. So she held it for long enough. That's kind of what I was getting at there, is that Utami was able to take a lead in that section on the first set. Zooty held him off on this one right here. She's going to be, you know, down, you know, not down at all going into the aim section of this map, where she outperformed Utami in the first set. This is going to be close as hell.
Once again, we're going to come into the second half of this map the same way we did the first time around. It's going to be a near identical score, which is favored Zooty, as you said, as it gets more aim heavy. That becomes really her specialty. Combo dead even, accuracy in favor of Utami, but if he breaks at all, the lead goes right over to her, and there's a third of the map to go.
This is going to be a big section for Zooty here. Oh, Utami finds a break! That's absolutely massive. xootynator running away with it on the aim section again. She's going to hold through the section with the triples here, and then there's the aim into the ending. Once you hit that last quarter of the map, there's going to be nothing that Utami can do to respond to this combo from xootynator right now. We're approaching the quarter of the way. The accuracy lead is not as big as it was in the first set. We're barely pushing 1% on Utami, and as we hit the pause, xootynator holds the combo. Utami is about to be put in a very tough spot after this on his last pick. xootynator just needs to hold a little bit longer through the aim section. Hold the nerve into the end here. Just aim. That's all there is. A couple triples, but nothing huge. She's got to build this up.
I think she's got it. Just like last time, she's established that combo lead. She's established that score lead. It's a late break, but I don't know that there's enough time to bring back 40k score. However, he does have a 1% accuracy lead. If she finds some breaks, drops a little more accuracy, this could get really close to the ending. I don't think it's note dense enough, though. I believe she established enough of a lead that she should be able to hold him off.
If she holds combo, she'll maintain this into the ending, into the last streams right here. She cannot chain miss these last patterns. Good. Very good for xootynator. That's it. That's forcing Utami onto his last pick.
Tell me we didn't just see the exact same score gap between them as we did the first time around, just flipped the other way.
Oh my
15,000 points. Except Zooty improved and by a more significant margin. Utami went 374k to 429k. Zooty went 359k up to 444. As we've been seeing, it's that improvement in the scores from both players, but once again on her own pick. Zooty able to do it by just a bit more. And now you are in the most difficult spot. It's the last pick. What do you go here? Do you go the hidden 3? Do you go back to hidden 3? It feels kind of RNG a little bit, but what else do you even have? Nomod 4?
What's the most gimmicky map left?
Nomod 4 is a really intensely difficult tech pick.
That could be
the slider aim in this Nomod 4 is
he can't go for Hard Rock against Zooty. That might be a dangerous place.
There is not Hard Rock left, is there? Or there's
Hard Rock 3.
Hard Rock 3. I don't think
Nomod 4. It's the custom song. Let's go. Let's go.
Shout out Q Tatsuki for the custom song. Alkion. 7.94 star, nearly 4 minute, 200 BPM Winber tech map is going to be the final selection of the entirety of Corsace Closed 2022. This is the last map that will be selected by a player in this entire match, no matter what. Either it's the last map period or it goes to a tiebreaker. And this is a ludicrously difficult tech pick.
This is poggers. This is, I will say it unironically right now on stream, this map is freaking awesome. Great song, great high intensity pick. Both of these players have shown that they're so good on this type of map. Utami, his aim control has been some of the best we've seen from him today. He looked really good on the Nomod 4, really good on the Nomod 6. However, something he needs to be very concerned about right now is xootynator's ability to play these high-intensity aim and slider patterns right now, where Utami has had maybe a little bit more trouble. So this is the calm before the storm and the pause right now. xootynator, her last opportunity to force tiebreaker and give her last chance at winning Corsace Closed 2022. Utami gonna look for his imminent revenge from last year, both players. And here we go into Nomod 4, the last map. 3 minutes and 47 seconds, almost 8-star, 200 BPM tech map. This map holds nothing back.
This is the most intense pick you could possibly imagine for this scenario, with everything on the line, with how good these players have looked in both of these sets, and dare I almost say that it feels kind of like the momentum could go to Zooty a little bit off of that Hard Rock 1 pick, off of how good she looked on Nomad 3 as well. This is a very contested pick, and the way Zooty has played, the way her flow aim, the way her aim overall has looked, this is the type of thing that she could win to force that TV, and I would not be by any means surprised. This is going to be Break City. I don't think we're going to see much in the way of great combo here. We didn't yesterday, and I don't know that we will again today. This is like a 250, 275k map, and that's just how it happens when you get to 8-star Nomod 4s. So if anyone can build any combo anywhere, it's going to be absolutely huge, and so far, neither player able to do that.
Utami's doing a slight better job on the accuracy right now. It's giving him the score lead that he's looking for, but any break at the ending of this section right here where it becomes a little bit more comboable is going to be absolutely terrible for either of these players right now. xootynator overaims a triple. Oh no! We've got a big double section with the 1/3s coming in right here with these overlaps.
Oh, no.
xootynator not able to hit any of it.
The chain miss is so devastating. That loses so much ACK and score. She's back under 100k. Oh, no. Utami is in the driver's seat. She barely holds on the combo there. I thought that was another break, but managed to hold. But 96 AC and 500 combo versus 92 AC and 190 combo. Utami breaks the door's back open.
This ending section is so much more comboable than anything else in this map. This is flow, aim, stream ending of this map. Both of these players should be able to combo this, unless somebody gets caught by the overlapping slider here. Hold on. The slider after this one. It's the next long slider. Please don't get caught by this. Okay, good. Okay, that was a big point right there.
Calm before the storm.
Oh, God.
Get to build up just a little bit. The intensity grows. It's 50,000 points in favor of Utami, but that can be eliminated in a heartbeat. xootynator has been so good on flow aim. She's so great at tech, and she could put forth a performance at the ending to take this one back.
Here we go, the last key eye of the map right now. It's all streams into the ending here. It's velocity changes, it's spacing changes, it's high intensity with the doubles. xootynator is gonna hold combo as long as she possibly can. She needs a break from Utami to feel secure in this pick right now.
There it is.
And Utami finds the break!
She's gonna bring this back. There is no way. Oh no, the break from her!
Oh, it's gonna be so...
And now it's just on a knife's edge. There's nothing in it. It's 8K. Oh, and Utami breaks some more.
Oh, he's throwing it back again. She's got a hold. This is going to be it in the ending of the map. The last couple of seconds, there's a hard tech section. She finds a break. It's 2K difference. Utami's not missing.
He holds through the ending. He built up 200 combo. I think that might have been enough even with 5K. It's going to come down to the last seconds, though.
Utami has it with the combo into the ending.
Oh, and Utami holds it by 7,000 points. It does not get any closer than that. Zooty fought to the last breath, but Utami, with the 200 combo at the very end, takes the map, takes the set, takes the match, and he takes the tournament. Your Corsace Closed 2022 champion is Utami. He gets his revenge on his 2021 defeat in the Grand Finals bracket reset.
For the glory, Utami, the redemption tournament, returns after a bracket reset loss himself last year to Flying Tuna. He lost on tiebreakers. xootynator with the bracket reset of a lifetime. She went from a 7-1 scoreline to a 7-5, coming down to 7,000 point score difference at the last possible second, with Utami just holding, without the chain misses at the beginning of the map. And that is going to be it finally. Your top two for this tournament, Utami and xootynator, giving it all, like you said, until their last breath in this match. xootynator, every ounce of strength that she had to make this match work in her favor, and it was so close. Utami having one of the best matches we've seen from him in this tournament thus far, and that's saying something with some of the performances that we have seen up until now. For those of you in chat, exclamation Nomod 4 as a command. Please go check out on YouTube and SoundCloud this custom song that we had made for this tournament. Absolutely fantastic, stellar, above anything that we could have ever expected. Thank you so much for that one. But what an end to that match.
That was incredible. It came down to the smallest things. After the first set was so one-sided to Utami, xootynator just turned it on in that second set, and it really just all came down to two picks. I mean, the one break point on Hidden 4 for Utami, and then that Nomod 4. I mean, the intensity of the song lived up to by the intensity of the match performance on it. That was everything you could have asked for and more in a grand finals match, in a first set, in a bracket reset. The 1 and 2 seeds just duking it out back and forth the entire way through. I mean, it's remarkable. And I mean, just, you got to give them a hand, both of them. Just the biggest round of applause for Zooty and for Utami, because this was everything we had hoped for, and then some, to close out this tournament this year. Unbelievable.
The bracket reset, the fight until the end, and only thing they were missing was tiebreaker. But I'd say we arguably got something a little bit better on that last map there. That was just stellar performances from both players there. The combo from Utami at the beginning, xootynator putting it up for the ending combo there, and the overall consistency in this match as a whole. A round of applause. We talked about it, but these players do not get enough credit for the time and the effort spent to become this good at the game and be able to play tournaments to this level. And this community has come so far in the difficulty and consistency and performances in these pools because of it right now. And it is seriously a major part, made by these players here that you see on your screens right now. So a round of applause to both of them. Utami, your winner. xootynator, your second place. Absolute champs through this pool.